everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm Tanya, doctor, lawyer, turned homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 8, 5, and 3. Danielle over at Danielle Gets It Done and I are continuing our series collaboration on parenting emotionally complex children. And today we're going to be talking about establishing a calm nighttime routine to ease that transition into bedtime for your kids. Now, even though this is a series on parenting emotionally complex kids, when you're trying to establish a nighttime routine, it really does have to work for every single child in your family. And in all honesty, I feel like almost all children are emotionally complex when it comes to bedtime. So this one has more to do with our family dynamic as a whole than any one child in particular. And when my eldest, who has ADHD, was younger, we did use charts to establish a clear nighttime routine that first this has to be done, then this, then this. So we had a huge variety of different methods we would use. One of them was a really simple one. I just had a manila folder with Post-its on it. And when you open the manila folder, one side of it had, this hasn't been done yet, and one side has done. So basically for the nighttime folder, he would have things like brush teeth, clean room, hang up towel, put clothes in hamper, pick up your toys from downstairs, etc. And all he would have to do is when he would do it, he could take the Post-it and put it from the one side over to the others, to the done side. And he had one for nighttime and one for morning. And that worked well for a while. But as we all know, especially with children with ADHD, change and variety can be important to maintaining routines like this. So to switch it up, one of the things we did was we made a pictorial chart. And if you're interested in getting this chart, by the way, I'm happy to share it. Just send me an email at contactprojecthappyhome@gmail.com and I'll be happy to send you that chart. So the way we use it is basically we put it into an 8x10 picture frame, and it has a glass cover, and then he has a dry erase marker and he can just cross off things. In all honesty, recently my son has not needed to use any sort of visual aid, and he's just fallen into the routine of nighttime really well. He's about 8 years old now, and it just works for him. So having had 3 or 4 years of this pictorial graphic kind of representation of the steps of bedtime really helps set that and solidify that in his mind. So if you have a younger child, or if you have an older child who just isn't sort of getting the hang of first you do this, then you do this, then you do this on the way to bed, then I really do recommend trying visual aids to help them out. So to get back to our nighttime routine, basically the day starts winding down around 5 here, because between the hours of like 2:30 and 5 is when my kids are really outside and getting dirty and messy and running through dust piles and jumping in puddles and things like that. When they come inside at around 5-ish, I'll give them a 15-minute warning, and when they have to start coming inside, they have to take off whatever dirty clothes they have and shoes and muck and leave it on the porch. And then they have showers on a schedule, because in this house, unlike the previous house, we only have one bathroom that they all share. And so the way I do it is I tie it to laundry day. And on the day that I do their laundry, they're the first person to shower, and it continues that way throughout the week. So for example, Wednesday is my son's laundry day. So on Wednesday, he's the first to shower. Then my daughter on Thursday, my second daughter on Thursday, my third daughter on Friday, and then it rotates on through. I really like tying who goes first to shower to a specific day, because it eliminates a lot of infighting about who has to come inside first. So that first person comes inside, starts their shower. I keep an eye on the clock, get them out at a certain point. The next person to come inside gets called in, and they go shower, and so on and so forth. And one of the biggest things I can recommend for streamlining shower time is to supervise your children when they're smaller, so they know how to take a shower, so they know how to start from top down, put the shampoo in your hair, wash off the shampoo, wash your body, etc., and like what parts they have to really make sure they concentrate on and focus and keep clean. When they get out of the shower, they each have towels hanging on hooks, and the hooks are low. I really recommend towel hooks for children because they can actually hang them up themselves. It's really rather complicated for kids to put a towel on a towel rack, so towel hooks are the way to go in my opinion. My kids hang up their towels, they can get down their towels. The girls still need help with drying their hair, so they'll call us up for the last stage of their bath when we just kind of give them a once over in the shower, make sure they're clean, and dry them off. But once they're dried off, even the girls can dress themselves on the way to dinner. In my son's room, the pajamas are all very low on a shelf. They're all open. Again, I recommend shelving instead of drawers. It's easy for the children to see. There's nothing to open and close. There's nothing really to get to be a mess. It's easy for them to straighten piles, etc. So my son gets dressed, his hamper is right there next to his closet, so he knows that he has to put his clothes in the hamper. It's much easier for kids to remember to do things if they can visually see the thing. So for him to put his pajamas on, he has to see his hamper. It's sitting right next to his closet, so he remembers, oh, I have to put my clothes in the hamper from the day. And he is ready for dinner all on his own. But my children know they get to play until dinner time is called. So it also encourages them to shower quickly and to maximize that playtime. When my daughters get out of the shower, their closet is also arranged such that they can reach their pajamas easily. Since they're only 5 and 3, I separate their pajamas into baskets. And the way I do it is simply by separating the pajamas out into bottoms and tops for each of them. So they know exactly where their baskets are. The older sister can help the younger sister reach if she needs it. And basically they just pick out whatever bottom and top they want. And so we have a lot of mismatched pajama wearing kids, and that's totally fine with me. They dress, they put their clothes in the hamper again, and for the girls, you'll notice my daughter actually put little labels, because the two hampers are identical, with their names on them at the top. And I was so impressed by her initiative to do this that even though I don't love how it looks, I just left it because I think it's great that she has that little organizational bent. Since my youngest, my 3-year-old, knows her alphabet, she also recognizes which one her hamper is, which is very nice. And if I tell them, oh, I think you forgot your pajamas, they can do that step themselves. Creating their rooms such that they can effectively do their own tasks is really important. So if I had picked a really pretty hamper with a heavy lid, that wouldn't be as conducive. I picked a cheap, inexpensive hamper with little Velcro lids that they can easily open and close. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll lay their pajamas the next morning on top of the hamper if they're going to wear them again. Because in our house we like to wear pajamas twice so that we minimize the laundry a little bit. So after everyone has showered, right about that time, I'm pretty much done making dinner. And I call them down to dinner. They all know how to come down. They are responsible for getting their own water cups and everything, which makes life, again, easier for me. They fill their water at the fridge, bring it to the table. They get their own cutlery. They sit down and eat. My husband and I don't eat dinner with them because that's our time to just sort of reconnect and not have to police the children. Because as a homeschooling family, we are with the children quite a bit, and this is our private time. So we eat dinner separately. I know a lot of people will be shocked and horrified to learn that when my children are at the dinner table, that's when they have their screen time. I tie their devices to the dining table. So during lunch, during dinner, and during breakfast, that's when they have their screen time. They're not really allowed to use screens elsewhere in the house, not even on the couch or anywhere. That's where they live. So in that way, I have a really simple way of knowing exactly how much time they've spent in front of a screen. Generally, it's about an hour and a half a day if you count up the 3 meals. After they finish dinner, they know that in order to leave the table, they need to clear off their spots, put things next to the sink or in the sink, clear their plates and things into the garbage, and then they are free again to play until it is time to clean up. The way I announce cleanup time is basically by playing a playlist. And so we have different playlists on Amazon Music and on Spotify. And I just play like fun songs, like songs from Trolls and things like that. And it's energetic music so that everyone gets into the mood of cleaning up. And during that 10 to 15 minutes, we all clean up. So I tidy up the downstairs and the kitchen, they tidy up their rooms, and basically my only rule is that entire time you should be cleaning up. If you're done with your room, come downstairs and see if you can help or help out one of your siblings, but everything needs to be off the floor by the time the music stops. I also have baskets and bins, and I think I'm going to show you my daughter's room here, and so they just have all these pink bins, and I have no particular rules or regulations for what toys go in what bins, but so long as everything is picked up and put away in the bins, they are set to go. So create an easy way for your kids to pick up and clean up their rooms, and it'll happen on a much more frequent basis and with much less heartache for you. When I get upstairs, it is time for brushing teeth. I recently discovered this great toothbrushing app whose name just totally escapes me, but I will include it in an inset and in the description down below. I believe it's a Gimlet app and it's sponsored by Crest, but it's really cute because every day it tells you how to brush and it not only talks about brushing, it has like an interesting like theme for the week. So like one week will be food, one week will be transportation. They'll have one 2-minute block of riddles. They'll have one 2-minute song that's a little bit silly and funny and makes the kids happy. They'll have some factoids, some weird things. They had a week of animal study. It's a really cute little way of getting all your kids in the room together to brush for the allotted 2 minutes. So after brushing our teeth, they wipe down their sinks. This is another sort of routine that I build in. We don't really have chore charts. I like to build in the children's chores like into their daily life so that they understand that maintaining a house and keeping it clean is really like sort of an ongoing process. They wipe down their sinks and then we go to the rooms. Here we read some picture books. I get a choice, each of the children gets a choice, even my 8-year-old gets a picture book choice because I think picture books are great. And some of them are super deep and some of the best books I've ever read. And this is just a tangent, but I don't think you should stop your older children from reading picture books. I think they are wonderful. I think they have very deep literary value in large part. And there are, of course, like, you know, the junky kind of books, but there are some beautiful picture books out there for older children as well. So we'll read these picture books and we'll do that all together. Then my son separates out and goes back to his room. After the reading, they all go to the restroom so that, you know, they have their final potty break of the night, and then they get into their beds. We turn off the lights and I sing them a song. Then I move to my son's room and I read him a story if my husband hasn't read him a story yet, and that's generally from a chapter book or something, but it's usually whatever he wants. And we talk and have a little quiet time then to ourselves without the girls, and he gets to tell me all his like inventions and things that he's been thinking throughout the day, and I put him to bed and sing him a song as well. And he doesn't have lights out. He has to stay in bed, but he has a little book light and his little bedside table lamp, and he reads his own little books. And we generally check in on him at around 10-ish or so to make sure that he has fallen asleep. But all of this wraps up and we retire to our own room at around 9:30. And that is our nighttime routine. It's always pretty much been the same. There was a period in there where we would do dance parties every night, and then it all sort of devolved where, you know, the kids started fighting about what song to pick and everything. So the way we've incorporated dance party time is really to make it that cleanup time. So if I interact with them during that time, we like bop around while we clean. But yeah, that is our nighttime routine. It happens the same exact way pretty much every night, and I think it has contributed greatly in just maintaining the order of that time period. I would love to reach a day where I could get them all into bed by 8:30, and that's really the goal, but it generally ends up being around somewhere between 8:30 and 9. That is our nighttime routine, you guys. I hope this was a helpful video to you. I think everybody's nighttime routine is going to look different. It really depends on your family and what you value and how your kids are, but I think having a system in place so that the kids know what to expect, so that they know that when that first step is triggered, like, okay, for us it's bath time, they know what's coming next. They know the sequence of the next 3 hours, and I think it helps everything run smoothly for everyone. So figure out what works for you, and I wish you the very best of luck. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have great tips on your nighttime routines or what is working for you, please include it in the comments down below. I know a lot of times I get a lot of help from the comments that I see in videos, even more so sometimes in the video itself. I'm sure you guys have great ideas. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I wish you the very best day.